Good morning, everybody. How is everyone this lovely Saturday? Welcome to the show. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 Podcast. It is the 16th of September 2023, and this lovely day, we'll be talking about Mortal Kombat 1 and why my sign's not on. This lovely day, we'll be talking about Mortal Kombat 1, as I played it all day yesterday, and I'd like to give you my honest opinion on the story mode so far, as we are around 4 to 4.5 hours into it, 66% through of it, according to the game, as well as we have some news updates and some more information on what we need to do with Mortal Kombat 1 to unlock all of the content so that we can actually have it all when I jump into the online play of the game. So, good show lined up today. As for what gameplay we have today, we have the conclusion of the Mortal Kombat 1 story, and later tonight, the conclusion of my awesome Chrono Trigger playthrough that I have been doing all summer long here as a celebration of my anniversary. 15 years as a content creator on YouTube, and it had been 10 years since I had played the game, and we finally got through it, and now we will see the epic conclusion tonight. So it's going to be a good streaming morning for sure. I hope that you guys are ready. I know I am. All right, so where do we begin? I guess what we should do is we should talk about Mortal Kombat, correct? It's good stuff. And I want to give you my honest day one thoughts on this game before we jump into anything else too crazy. So, oh, by the way, my headphones are charged. First things first, so this morning, I come into the office, and, you know, the reason why I didn't have the light turned on is I'm getting everything set up, and my laptop had forced an update without asking me, which is a little weird because typically Windows PCs are supposed to ask you, and this laptop literally did not tell me and did not ask me about this update. It just did it overnight. A little weird. So when it did it, it essentially forced updates on everything. It updated my browsers. It updated, you know, I guess it was a Windows update. And when it did that, it reset all my settings. So everything on my laptop was reset. I'm like, oh, this means I have to totally reset up my whole thing. So to give you a little insight into how my setup works, because it is quite complex, all right? On my desktop PC, I've got the stream being monitored, so I can see like the YouTube Studio stream page to see, you know, how many viewers, how many likes, if contributions come in over there. And then I've got my OBS, which is my open broadcast software, open on the other half of that monitor screen, so I can see myself, to see what the stream looks like, and stream stats, so I can see the connection quality, how long I've been recording, the bit rate, the CPU usage, and all of those statistics, okay? So that's my desktop monitor. Right here on my laptop is where I monitor all of you guys. So I've got the stream chat open on the right-hand side of the monitor. On the left-hand side, I've got a window open that basically tracks all YouTube interactions and contributions. So if you do a super chat or a super sticker or a membership or a gifted membership, I see it through there. Then I have a second window open that's tracking tips. And that one will, if a tip comes in, I'm supposed to get a notification, but that's reliant on PayPal doing their job, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they kind of drag their feet, and then I get a delayed message, and that's why I don't shout out a tip right away. So at any given moment, I've got 3 windows open here on my laptop that I need to monitor the streams. Of course, over here, I've got the game on my TV, and then over here, I have a whole bunch of equipment, including my headphones, my controller, a keyboard. This is how I change the leaderboard and stuff like that. I use this keyboard here. My gunner glasses, the controls for my TV, and also my air conditioner, and all of that are right there. So I got a lot going on. I mean, I have 3 screens, things all over the place, you know. That's how I have my setup going. So when this laptop resets, basically I don't have any way to talk to you guys. So I had to reset it up from scratch, which took like an extra 10-15 minutes. And when I was doing that, I must have forgotten to turn the light on. Not that it's a huge deal, but there's your explanation as to why the light wasn't on this morning, okay? Anyway, so what I'd like to do to open today is to do a segment on Mortal Kombat 1 and talk about what I think about the game about 4.5 hours into the story, because that's what we've done. We did an hour tutorial so I could learn the basics, and then we played the story for about 4.5 hours. So what do I think? First of all, let's talk about the tutorial and the gameplay mechanics that I learned doing it. For clarification purposes, I did offense, defense, and the cameo stuff. I did not do the more advanced stuff. You know, like there's all kinds of things in there about advanced combos and wake-up timing and mix-ups and stuff. I know all of that from playing fighting game history. And the thing is, I will maybe go and do that tutorial later. But as of now, I didn't want to spend 4 hours in the tutorial. Just the offense, defense, and cameos took an hour, okay? So what I learned about Mortal Kombat 1 is that they have removed a ton of the things that they added in Mortal Kombat 11. In Mortal Kombat 11, they made the game play a lot more like Street Fighter, where it wasn't reliant on a hardcore block button to block everything. If you remember, they changed that. They also made it that there were, like, reversal wake-ups. Remember, you could do, like, a meter burn wake-up move that would make you get up fast and do, like, a big move that would knock them off their feet and stuff like that so that they couldn't always stay on top of you for rushdown. They've removed all of that. So, basically, a lot of the new things that everyone learned last game are gone. And now you have to relearn the game kind of from scratch, but not really, I would say, because essentially what they did is they just rolled it back. This plays a lot more like Mortal Kombat 9 or 10, but the difference being the cameos are completely new and different. And for me, the way I see it, as I think long-term, the cameos in this game, if you don't know what the cameos are, they're the assist characters, the characters that don't actually fight as main characters, but you could call them in to do special moves and extend your combos and maybe even do anti-air attacks. Depends on the character you selected, but they're all used completely differently. So the thing is about the cameos, okay? I feel like long-term, they will make this game pretty interesting because everyone's going to have a different opinion on what's the best cameo. Do I want to extend my combo, or do I want to create a mix-up situation with the cameo so that the person gets fooled and now I can do my own attack after? Do I want a solid anti-air because my character doesn't have a good anti-air, right? What do you want to do? The cameo will do that. The thing is, right now, the game just came out and each cameo character has 3 attacks. So now not only do you have to learn a cameo, but you have to learn all of their attack situations and moves. That's a lot to learn. It really is. And it does seem to me like a lot of these cameos will be very important to the overall gameplay and they call it the meta of the game. You're going to need to know what the best cameos are. You're going to need to know how to defend against them, expect them, and counter them. And I think like right now that's not going to happen. So many people will jump into this game not knowing what the cameos are, that someone who learns the cameos is just going to dominate, you see? So it seems to me like, unlike a lot of other Mortal Kombat games that maybe are easier to jump into, this one might actually be the hardest one ever to just jump into because you need to learn so much to really play it competitively, or else you'll go online not knowing what the hell you're doing, and you'll just be mashing the cameo button hoping that something comes out that works and you won't even know. You know, I mean, just take a look at Kano. one of his cameo attacks, the entire game freezes, and you can't move, and he stands there and does an eye beam. Okay? His other cameo attack, he actually does move independent of you, so you can each do stuff. He walks back and he throws a knife. His third cameo attack, again, independent of you, he jumps out and stands there for a second. Then he does that Kano ball special attack from Mortal Kombat 1. They're all completely different. So you need to know how to utilize them, how to time them, how to use, if it's a combo or a mix-up, whatever you're doing. That's just learning. Kano alone is learning a lot. And then you have to learn a character you're using and how to implement it with that character. It's going to be very complex, I feel. Okay? So that's the thing about this game, is there's a lot to learn. And even just playing that first hour tutorial, people are like, oh, you got to play more. Don't play the tutorial all day. I'm like, you got to understand. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't even understand the basics. Like, this game has new blocking mechanics. It has what's called an up block, which I didn't even know existed. If someone's doing a high attack, like a jump kick or an overhead, and you up block, you instantly recover, and you can attack them before they've recovered. So it's a good way to someone's jumping constantly, up block and then counter hit them. And that's a new thing. That's something you need to learn playing this game's tutorial, you see. All right, so after playing the tutorial for about an hour and learning a lot about these new mechanics, we jumped into the story mode, and that was basically both streams yesterday. It was 2 hours of story on the first stream and about 2.5 hours of story on the late stream. And here's what I can say about the story mode after that much of investment. The graphics are great. The graphics actually, in my opinion, are better than I thought. When I played the beta, I wasn't very impressed, but actually looking at the graphics more in depth during the story mode, and particularly I really like some of these backgrounds. They are very nice, like really nicely detailed. The one with the monks, you know, Liu Kang's like training school, with the monks are fighting in the background. You got these beautiful like cherry blossom or lotus trees moving in the wind and everything. It looks sick. There's the other one where you're at a festival and there's all these fireworks going off. It looks really nice. I'm like, wow, okay, some of these stages are good. Some aren't so good, like the stupid, you're at a restaurant or whatever, and there's people sitting at a bar or whatever. That's kind of lame. It's not very good. But other ones are really good. So it's interesting too, because this is a reimagined timeline, some of the stages are reimaginings of previous stages. Like, you know, there is the Shang Tsung dungeon, but they don't call it that. I forget what they call it in this one. It has a word for it, but it's redone, and there's a really gory-ass monster in the background hanging out. Like, wow, that's kind of neat and funny at the same time. So I do like that. I'm liking the graphics more and more the more that I play the game, and having now used a variety of characters, seeing the visual effects are actually quite nice as well. The lighting, you know, the big, I don't even know what to say. What do you call it? Like, there's flame effects, there's ice effects, there's energy effects, whatever you call them. Like, there's the new demon woman who has both light and dark powers, and each time she uses her sword with each one, it's like a big nice effect on the screen. Like, it looks very nice, I have to admit. The plot so far, 4.5 hours in, the plot's been interesting. It's kind of got a slow build that retells the story of classic Mortal Kombat from a different perspective, because now Liu Kang is in charge of everything rather than Raiden. I keep calling him Raiden. It's Raiden in Mortal Kombat. But then after like an hour and a half of that, the whole plot flips on its head. There's twists and turns and things that are going on. There's a lot of new characters, but I say new because they haven't been in Mortal Kombat for like 15 years. These are characters from like the 2000s Mortal Kombats, like Deception and Deadly Alliance and Armageddon. You haven't seen them in so long, and now they're back for the first time in ages, so they're new to me because I didn't play those games. And it's funny, I'm like, who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? And people are trying to tell me quick who they are. I'm like, oh, I don't know. You know, in the game, we'll like get a quick backstory. Oh, that's a vampire woman. Oh, this is a woman who used to be a demon, but she's purging herself of evil. Like, what? Where were they for the last 3 games? They didn't exist or something? They're really weird. But anyway, like I said yesterday, my take right now is I really do feel like what they're trying to do is cater to the people who liked these games in the 2000s. While the last trilogy of 9, 10, and 11 catered to people who love the originals from the 90s, this game definitely seems to be integrating all these characters from the 2000s games for fan service purposes. So maybe people will like it because of that if they were fans of those games. Personally, I never played any of them, so I can't really attest to how accurate the character portrayals are or if they're good or not. I don't know. I do like the plot, although right when we were kind of adjourning last night, there was a twist in the plot that I didn't see coming, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like. And the thing is, I don't want to spoil it for you who maybe are watching the playthrough right now or playing it for yourself. I can talk more about this, after a couple of days when most people have played through the story. But there is a plot mechanic that is just so played out. And they're using it in this one, and I'm like, come on. Like, we've seen this so often in pop culture recently, and I don't want to see the same plot line again in Mortal Kombat, and it seems like that's what they're going with. So, it is disappointing in that regard, because we do have, we're 66% through. That's what it's telling me right now, and we're at 4.5 hours. So if you do the math there, that basically means that it's like another 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2.5 hours to beat the story. So it'll probably clock in around 6.5 to 7 hours, which is right in line with what people had said it would be. With 1/3 of the story left, I guess the question is, will it get interesting enough or differentiate itself enough from other stories that have used this mechanic before to feel special, or is it going to feel like just another one of these stories? And I hope that's not the case. I do hope that by the end of the game, there's interesting stuff going on and it feels special. Because I'll be honest, like, it did feel special in the first 2-3 hours, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, here we go, same mechanic you've seen in other stuff. Like, oh, come on. I almost feel like at this point it's a cop-out. It's kind of like copying what everyone else has done recently. Okay, I hope that's not the case, and I hope that it does get better. But anyway, you know, I am enjoying the story. It's well written. It's well voice acted, except for one particular voice role, which is absolutely atrociously badly performed. But it is well voice acted for the most part. Not to hate on any one particular person who probably shouldn't have been in the game, because they shouldn't get celebrities to do voices for these games. They should get professional voice actors. But anyway, yeah, it's been pretty good so far in that regard. So, yeah, and I'm excited to see the end of it today and see how it pans out. Now, before we get to that, a lot of people are asking, well, how long will you be playing the single-player content? What's the deal with the single-player content? You know, I can tell you, because I actually looked it up, and I want to give credit to, I believe it was Alex Jabali, who is the tournament organizer of the CEO Fighting Game Tournament Series. So he played this game for the last couple of days, and he wrote a short guide on how to unlock all the content in the game so that people would know what to do moving forward, especially if they're going to run a tournament in the next few weeks. You want to know, how do I unlock all the content of the game? So here's what he said. He says, you have to unlock all cameos and Havoc. It takes about 5 to 10 hours of gameplay. You can run through story mode and skip all cutscenes to unlock Havoc in only about an hour if you play it on very easy mode. But he says the story mode's awesome, so play through it normally, which is what I'm doing, you see? So, playing through the story mode, about 7 hours, and that's how you unlock the Havoc character, who we've actually seen in the story mode, and I actually think he's quite interesting. He seems like a grappler, but he's like a zombie whose body parts fall off but then regenerate. It's an interesting mechanic, and I'm curious how he's actually going to play. Now, after the story mode is done, all right, you then have to play invasion mode. And what Jabali says here, he says invasion mode is how you unlock the cameos that are grayed out. What you have to do is level up your profile, which just requires being online as you play. You gain levels by just doing fighting and progressing in it. Nothing crazy, but it is time consuming. It took me about 2.5 hours to reach level 25, and every 5 levels you'll unlock one of the cameo fighters, okay? And then lastly, it says Shang Tsung. Right now, you can only play him as a paid pre-order, but later on, I guess he'll be unlocked as a normal character in the game, but right now, you had to get the special edition to play as him. So, based off of what Alex says there, all right, we have to beat the story first, which we'll do today, and then we have to play about 3 to 4 hours of Invasion. And you might say, well, wait a minute. He said 2.5 hours. Well, he did say that, but you have to understand, that was him just sitting there playing it himself. He wasn't streaming it. He wasn't interacting with an audience. He was just playing it to unlock the content. Sure, if I just sat here for myself and was playing the game, right, then I'm sure I'd unlock it faster, but I'm going to be doing it on a stream. We're going to be exploring this invasion mode, seeing exactly what it is, talking about it, interacting. So it's going to take longer, you see. So here's my plans. Today's main gameplay stream, finish the story mode. Sunday night's late night stream, check out invasion mode for the first time, and then play it again on Monday night. And hopefully between the 2 night streams of 2 hours each, that's enough. 4 hours of invasion gameplay to unlock all the cameo characters. Now, when I want to take a character and say, oh, let's bring them into training mode, let's do their trials, let's go online, let's try the cameos out, everything will be unlocked, you see, which is what I want. I don't want to be playing it and go to play online and, you know, you're missing characters and stuff. I mean, you're not really playing the full game then. So, there you have it. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few days to cover Mortal Kombat 1. So you might say, well, when will Phil actually be playing Mortal Kombat 1 online? Well, here's the thing. I played it yesterday all day. I'm playing it today as the main stream. I'm playing it as the night stream Sunday and Monday. Tuesday is the release of Lies of P, which I'm planning on playing all day. So, likely, I might not even play this online till next week. What are you going to do? That's the thing with the release timing this year. That's why I actually did pay extra to get Mortal Kombat early, because it actually comes out on Tuesday for everybody else. So I would have been way behind the curve doing the single-player content, you see. There's nothing I can really do about it unless you don't want me to play the other new game this week, which I know everyone wants to see me try Lies of P. Everyone's been saying, hey, it plays like Bloodborne, but a little bit more slower paced, and we're interested to see how you feel like it. So, yeah, that's kind of what has to happen. And I apologize for those who are dying for me to jump right into the online play. That's how they designed the game. You have to do all the single-player content to even unlock the game content to play it online, you see? So, we'll see what happens, but that's what I'm planning. Now, overall, I'm liking the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1, but the criticism I have is the same criticism that has always applied to NetherRealm games when it comes to the story mode. Essentially, this would have been better if it was just a movie, okay? When it gets to the gameplay of the story mode, it's just not very good, and there's a couple reasons why. First of all, when you are playing the story mode, you're unlocking versions of the character that aren't really what you're going to play later on. For example, I played with a Kung Lao that didn't even have his hat yet, so he couldn't throw it as a projectile, and he didn't have half of his special moves. So it's kind of a nerfed version of Kung Lao, right? Raiden didn't have his lightning yet when I first started using him. Then he got his lightning, and all of a sudden he was amazing, but then it's time up. You don't play with Raiden anymore. So it's kind of disappointing with a lot of these characters when you're kind of playing half-finished versions of them. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know why they do that. I mean, I understand it's part of the narrative, but it definitely is disappointing when you're trying to play through the game and say, gee, I wonder if I'll like this character. Well, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea if I would like Kung Lao because the version in the game wasn't really Kung Lao. You see what I'm saying? The other thing about it is the difficulty levels are completely off. And here's what I mean by that. If you play the game on the default, which is medium, it is piss easy. All right? Most of the time, the enemies will just stand there and do nothing. Every once in a while, they'll throw out a special move or a combo. But then if you do offense, they kind of just stand there, which is fine if you're trying to learn the character and learn some basic, maneuvers like combos or whatever. But, you do want some challenge, and there is no challenge on medium, okay? When you put it on hard, it's as if you insulted the game's mother or something. The game kicks it into, like, overdrive and immediately starts a combo, high-low mix-up, throw, combo mix-up, throw, and then you try to throw them, throw break, fuck you, combo. It's like, what the hell? So, it's either game journalist mode or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo high-level AI mode that kicks your ass. Like, what is going on here? That's one difficulty notch. Because the thing is, there's easy and very easy. There's also very hard. And it's like, they didn't scale that. There needs to be an in-between level where there's some challenge, but there's still an opportunity for you to learn. Because at first I told everyone, all right, I'll try hard. And, okay, first fight with Kung Lao. Okay, how do you do special move? Down, oh, he's fucking me up. Okay, hold on. Let me try. Oh, Jesus, he won't get off me. All right, let me try. Oh, my God, he's throwing me. He's mixed up. Game over. Like, what the fuck? I didn't even get to do one special move with Kung Lao. The game just rocked me. Like, I was supposed to know what I was doing. I didn't even play the game yet. I'm like, what the fuck? That's the first fight. So it's kind of like, if you're going to play the story mode a second or third time, then you would play it on hard when you know the characters that you're using. But the first time through, why the hell would you play it on hard? You can't learn anything, which is the whole point of story mode, is to learn some just basic stuff about each character you're using. And you can't do that because hard just kicks your ass. So, basically, yeah, like, that's a big complaint. I wish NetherRealm would put more effort into the gameplay element of their story modes. Listen, their story modes are best in class. Interesting story that's well written, great acting, voice acting, mocap, and it adds so much lore to the universe that other fighting games don't do. Like, for example, Street Fighter 6 has a story mode, but it has nothing really to do with the mainstream story of Street Fighter 6. It's this kind of weird mode where you're a character that's an avatar wandering through an open city. You're fighting random people in the streets. Then you do some fights against the Street Fighter characters, but it's not necessarily the most riveting story, and it's certainly not an advancement of the narrative of Street Fighter. It's meant to be a standalone mode for those who want single-player content. This is definitely a mainstream canon story that's supposed to advance Mortal Kombat. You see? So that's the real difference here. So I like that they do that, and they've done this in the last 3 Mortal Kombats as well as both Injustice games. But I wish that they would focus more on making the gameplay more meaningful, and they really don't, okay? But honestly, that's my only criticism right now. Everything else I'm liking about the story. We'll see what happens today as we finish it up. I can't really criticize the game till I play it for real. I'm assuming Invasion will be more of the real gameplay of the game, and then, of course, when eventually I play it online, that will definitely be more, more serious gameplay. So we'll see, all right? That being said, now let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the week so you know what to expect, because it's not just Mortal Kombat every day. So today, we finished the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1 on the first stream. Tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's the conclusion of Chrono Trigger, the epic playthrough that I've done all summer long. It's been very, very fun. Very exciting. Really chill. And I'm looking forward to see how it all ends. We got the final dungeon, Black Omen, and then we've got the final challenging boss fight and the epilogue of the story. Should take, I'm thinking it'll take about 90 minutes. We'll see. I know it's not that long, so it shouldn't take like 2 hours or more. But we should wrap it up tonight, and I hope you guys will join me for the epic finale. Those who've been here all along, it'd be very nice to see you tonight for that, okay? All right, then tomorrow on the day stream, it is my weekly react show, DSP versus the Internet, over on DSP Reacts, my sister channel. If you are a member on DSP Reacts and you have not yet nominated the videos that you want to watch this week, you better get to it, because you have to nominate them by the end of tonight's late stream of Chrono Trigger. Because right after that stream is when I'm going to set up the playlist for tomorrow. If you don't post up by tonight, you will not get in for the show tomorrow. I have to re-emphasize this, because we have some people who seem to rush in at the last minute and try to get videos and questions and everything posted up. I can't be checking the threads 10 to 15 times over the 12 hours before the show. I have to sleep, and then the show has to begin. You see? So you must get in all of your stuff. All right? Please post it up as soon as possible over the course of today to ensure that you'll be on the show tomorrow. All right? So that's the react show tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, it'll be Invasion mode in MK1, and we'll see what it is for the very first time. Excuse me. Monday, we will return to Starfield as the daytime stream. It's really probably the only Starfield stream I'm doing this week. So that's the daytime stream on Monday. Then Monday night, more Invasion mode in Mortal Kombat 1. And the hope is that after Sunday night and Monday night, we can beat and unlock enough of Invasion mode to get all of the cameos unlocked, so then we can actually play online and have everything there, okay? We'll hope for the best. I mean, Alex Jabili says 2.5 hours. That'll be 4 hours of gameplay for me. You know, I understand with me interacting on streams, it'll be a little slower, but hopefully we'll get it done, okay? Then Tuesday is the release of Lies of P, and I'm very interested to see what this game is. It's a Game Pass game, so I've scheduled to play it all day, both streams, okay? So I hope that you will join me on Tuesday to see what it's all about. Is it going to be a shameless Soulsborne knockoff that doesn't play very well, or will it actually be a diamond in the rough version of this game that's actually worth playing? I don't know. I've played these Soulsborne knockoffs before. They don't necessarily impress me. You know what I mean? This one's Game Pass, so we can play it and see if I enjoy it or not. The reviews seem to be good. I think on average it's got around an 8 right now out of 10, which is pretty good. So I guess we'll see how it goes and go from there. So that's Tuesday. Now Wednesday, all right? The daytime stream on Wednesday is completely up in the air. I'm leaving it open. It could be more Lies of P. It could be a daytime stream where we actually do multiplayer Mortal Kombat 1. It could be more Starfield. All right? I'm purposefully having it an empty stream, and we can determine over the course of the week what we want to do. All right? You guys think about it. What would you like to see as the daytime stream on Wednesday? Now, I made the decision on Wednesday night. I will be playing Street Fighter 6 this week. That's the only Street Fighter 6 stream I'm playing all week. It's Wednesday night, okay? And yes, it'll be more Lily in ranked multiplayer. The thing is, I'm afraid that if I don't play Street Fighter 6 all week, I'm going to lose it and get rusty. And I don't want to do that, especially with all the effort I put into Street Fighter 6 over this summer. I don't want to now start sucking at the game because I haven't played it in so long. You see what I mean? So I also want to keep that momentum moving with Lily. I want to get Lily to Master. And we just hit 4-star Diamond. So I want to keep that rolling and get her closer to 5-star Diamond. So Wednesday night, Street Fighter 6, late night stream, Lily multiplayer. And that's my final consecutive stream of the week. Next week will be a balance between MK1. Likely it's got to be multiplayer at that point. Some Street Fighter 6 in the mix. Starfield and Lies of P. Okay, that's like the week until the DLC character Aki releases in Street Fighter 6. Then we get some major focus on that because I want to try out that character, both training mode and her trials, and then I want to take her online and see what I can do. Last time with Rashid, I did really good with Rashid and got big win streaks and leveled him up. Within one day, I had him up to like 2-3-star Diamond or something crazy like that. So I'd obviously like to see if I can keep that up with the next, DLC character. Only this time, the ranking will stick because I'll be playing it on PS5, okay? So, that's the plan. Once October hits, we start getting more and more new releases. But that's the plan for now. I hope that sounds good. And we'll go from there. But all right, so that is the schedule for the next week or so, okay? All right, I have a few news stories to talk about today. But before we get to those, I would like to just remind everyone about myself, the kind of content I put out, and the business model I operate on. Because, ladies and gentlemen, unlike many other content creators out there on the internet, I'm an independent. I don't have any partnerships or sponsorships. I don't have any paid product placements. You won't see a paid promotion notification pop up on the YouTube video, and you won't see me shilling a product or doing a referral code or a link you should go to click here and pay for something so I make some money. I don't do all of that. I also do not run excessive amounts of ads on my content whatsoever. As you see during live streams, I usually run maybe one ad break, if that. Okay? Why am I different from everyone else? Because I pride myself on the fact that because I am not beholden to anyone, I can say whatever I want and be completely transparent and honest with all of you. When I'm rating Mortal Kombat 1, I don't have to kiss its butt because I didn't get a copy free from NetherRealm, and I don't have to worry about hurting anyone's feelings so I don't get the next one for free. At the same time, I don't benefit when I slam a game. If I sit here and I crap all over a new release, it's not like I'm going to get clickbait views or anything like that. I'm doing too small time for that. So being honest is actually a staple part of my content that I really enjoy and cherish because for 15 years, it's allowed me to give you honesty through everything that I do on the internet. That's pretty good. When a lot of people can't do that and you see, just put up with my paid promotion or whatever, you don't ever have to do that, all right? The major reason is because of you, because you guys support me. And I really appreciate the fact that I have an audience of dedicated viewers who like my content and want to see it continue, so they crowdfund me. Thank you all to anyone who has been here and helped me over these 15 years that I've been a YouTuber to continue to do what I love and have passion for, all right? If you would like to see this continue and you'd like to support these efforts, here's how you can do it. The first way is the easiest. Liking the content and engaging with it. If you're watching this stream or you're watching this as an on-demand video and you're enjoying it, please give it a like on YouTube. Likes are engagement. They help on YouTube a ton for people to find the content. In addition, if you're watching this on demand, simply leaving a comment on it like, I'm watching your show and I like it, or just want to help out, here you go. Seriously, comments just like that add to engagement and help on this website, okay? In addition, you've got people who can engage on the streams, just talking with me on the streams, having fun conversation. That kind of stuff helps a lot for engagement purposes. So thank you to anyone who engages with my content here on YouTube in general, all right? Now, if you want to go above and beyond being that level of supporter, here's how you can do it. You can do a super chat or a super sticker. during a live stream, or you could do a super thanks on an eligible video after the fact on YouTube. No matter what you do, I'm going to give you a shout out, and I'm going to make sure that you know how grateful I am by saying thank you, answering any questions. If you do it on an on-demand video like a super thanks, I will actually like and favorite that post and respond directly to it. Thank you in advance to anyone who does that. If you become a member or you gift a membership to the channel, that helps a ton. Right now, we are in the middle of the busiest gaming season of the year. It just began, and we are rolling through it. Before you know it, we're going to be in mid-October when there's 3 releases a week. All right? Right now, people love having memberships to the channel. Here's why. Tons of emotes that you can use in the chat. Unlimited amounts of talking on a stream rather than having to abide by slow mode rules. Having a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been an ongoing supporter. Having the ability to have priority for access to all kinds of fun stuff for special events. For example, in October, we're going to have a Halloween event, and members are going to have priority to nominate and vote on games they want to see me play during that Halloween marathon that I do at the end of the month. So, it's a lot of cool benefits to being a member. So, if you like this content and you want to get all those special benefits, please become a member today. Or if maybe you want to help out the community. Maybe you hang out here a lot and you like the people here. Hey, let's just give some memberships to the community. It helps everyone, right? Please do that, and that really helps a lot, and people really appreciate it. If you're someone who watches the content and you want to be eligible for one of those, type !gift into the chat. It'll pop up the command that gives you a link that lets you enable gifted memberships, okay? Now, lastly but surely not least, there's tipping. Tipping is a direct contribution to my PayPal. This helps a lot because, number one, I get tips immediately. Number two, I get more of a cut of tips than I do of other contribution methods. Other methods take a while to process for me to see anything from them, and there's a cut taken that's pretty significant. The tips are more direct and benefit me a little bit more than everything else. Now, I appreciate all contributions. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Hey, you contribute however you see fit. Thanks to anyone who does in any way. But tips do help a lot. That's why I do have kind of rewarded tiers when we hit certain levels of tips. $50 I put on gunner glasses, $100 I'll put on a hat of your choice, and $150 a vest, okay? You get to pick those things. Now, my goals are as follows, all right? This week, by the end of this streaming week, I would like to have 650 members on the channel. I currently have 629. With the fact that we're playing MK1, the fact that we're finishing Chrono Trigger, the fact that we've got Lies of P coming up, I would hope that by the end of the streaming week, we could be at 650 members. So that's goal number 1 for me for the week. Goal number 2 is that I would like to hit 1 level 1 tips goal per day. Yesterday, we did that with Mortal Kombat 1 on the first stream, but then last night's stream was very slow for support. So I would like to at least see, try to hit that tier 1 at least once a day, every day this week. All right? So those are my 2 goals. We'll see if we can do it. Right now, we have done it when it comes to that, but we'll see, can we keep that pattern going? All right? Please contribute if you like the content. This is literally how I make my living. Ad revenue on YouTube doesn't really do much anymore. It's all about this. It's the crowdfunding contributions that keep me going. Thank you to those who keep these efforts going every single day. All right. Now that we're out of that crap, let's go ahead and let us get to news stories for a little segment that is my favorite segment. It's your favorite segment. It's everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP News. That is right. I know you love it. I love it. We all love it. Hold on a second here. If I'd properly prepared, I would have had this the right color. Look at that. There we go. I did not prepare, but now I'm prepared. I'm way late, but I'm prepared. Here we go. All right. So what stories do we have in store today on DSP News? Well, hold on. I can't answer that. I don't have the news on. Hold on. I got to get to the news desk. Okay. News story number 1. Low tier God has been banned again from Twitch. Wait, that's not news. That's drama. No. I gotta talk to these news deck guys. Really. Every day they try to bring this bullshit on my streams, and I absolutely refuse this bullshit. Alright? Maybe... Oh, he really was banned from Twitch again. Okay, anyway. Let's continue with the real news. All right. First news story of the day. If you remember, yesterday, I had a news story saying a little bit of a follow-up to the Unity news story. For those who haven't been following, Unity is a engine that is used to design video games. It gets licensed out, and many game developers use this to build their games. Notably, Genshin Impact actually uses this to make their game, okay? So, there's a lot of indie devs, smaller devs, who are afraid because Unity has on the fly decided that as of January 1st, they're changing their monetization model. Every single time a game made with Unity gets installed, they want a cut. They want like a royalty for every game install. And this has prompted unprecedented amount of panic. There's actually game dev companies that are saying we might go out of business if this happens. You know, our model is not based on being able to pay this kind of money. We don't have this kind of money to pay for each individual install. This is kind of ridiculous that they're asking for this. So if you want the full story on this, watch the last few podcasts because I've been covering this story all week. But yesterday there was a follow-up to this because apparently Unity got death threats. 2 different like home office studios of Unity, the company that is, had to close their doors because supposedly they had received credible death threats. Okay? So everyone's like, well, obviously this is not right. This should never happen. Listen, Unity may be making awful decisions that are going to screw over entire people's businesses and in some cases even their livelihood. But you shouldn't be threatening someone's life over anything like that. That's absolutely ridiculous, right? And we talked about this yesterday. It's kind of like, what did you think would happen when you basically threaten people's livelihood because of greed? Did you think people would be happy about it and respond positively? Or did you think that people would get unhinged and do crazy shit? So I'm not saying they deserve it. I'm just saying it's kind of like that saying, you fuck around and you find out. Well, I mean, they fucked around and now they're finding out people aren't putting up with their bullshit. All right? So it's messed up. No one should be doing it. It happened. But now we have a follow-up. Are you ready? Here is the follow-up news story. According to police, the death threat was actually from inside of the company itself. It was a Unity employee that issued the death threat to Unity that caused the company to close its doors for a day. So there's only 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1 is that an employee is so disgruntled against the company for doing this morally wrong thing that they took matters into their own hands. Scenario number 2 is that the company created a false flag situation to get sympathy, to make it look like, oh, woe is us, look what people are doing to us, it's not fair. But, you know, either way, no matter which way is true, is bad for Unity. You know what I'm saying? So either you have disgruntled employees who hate you now so much because you're so greedy, or you tried to stage a death threat situation, which is illegal, by the way. It would be fraud, false reporting. So what really is going on? Either way is terrible for them. So I'm curious. Again, we're going to keep following this story because this story is absolutely fascinating. By the way, even more game devs now have come out and said, yeah, this is fucked. And if they do change their business model, we're basically done with them. We're going to have to completely redesign all our games and our company from the ground up. Basically, people are like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to pay exorbitant amount of money on a per install basis for this company because they're just greedy. We're just not doing it. We're going to cut the cord, and Unity is going to essentially lose a ton of users. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. But by the way, there's some rumors out there. One of the rumors is that the board of Unity is actually a bunch of investors and people who don't understand the game industry, and basically they're looking to do a lot of money grubbing, essentially. Like, they know one of the people apparently who's on the board had involvement with Twitter and Elon Musk at one point, and there's another investor basically who's done something like this before, supposedly. So that's what they're saying. They're like, they don't actually think it's the CEO of Unity who's doing this stuff. They actually think it's the board members who are voting to do these heinous acts, and they don't care because they're just a bunch of fucking greedy investor fuckfaces. They don't even understand the gaming industry. Which would make sense, because if that were the case, right? If that were the actual case, think about it. then that would be why an employee would have become disgruntled, right? Okay. By the way, guys, give me a second. I just heard a noise. I want to make sure everything's okay. I'll be right back. Everything is fine. Wait till you hear this. So, my wife is Swiffering the house. Like, she has a Swiffer and she's cleaning the house. For some reason, this got my cat worked up. And he is running around the house, jumping and bouncing off the walls, making noise. That was him, jumping around the hallway, and he's going, roo, roo, and bouncing off the wall. Like, what the? I thought there was like a loud crash. No, it's my cat going hyper. Oh my God. Anyway, so no problems there. All right. News story number 2 for today. Listen to this one. This week, Ubisoft Montreal employees were forced to return to their office. There were 2 years of promises from Ubisoft management that Ubisoft Montreal employees could actually work remotely forever. However, people are now saying these are all empty promises and outright lies by their management. Some of the employees actually went out of their way to buy homes, sell cars, and completely start lives outside of Montreal, being told they could do so. Now they're being told, no, we changed our mind. You have to come back to work or you're fired. Interesting, right? I mean, how many times have we been talking about Ubisoft and Yves Guillemot, the guy in charge, right? And how it seems like every single possible waking moment, this guy does the wrong decisions. Yet, he's been in charge of this company for over a decade. He goes up on stage every year at the Ubisoft press conference like he's some hotshot. He's an asshole. Everyone knows it. He's the one who brushed all of the information and the evidence about all the sexual harassment and the sex scandals in Ubisoft under the rug for years and years until finally they were exposed by mainstream media. And then, oh, I didn't know about it. There's outright evidence he knew about it and hid it, yet he's still in charge of the company. So this guy's a scumbag. And we all know it. But for some reason, again, I keep saying these CEOs in power of these companies seem to be protected from any kind of repercussions for their actions. So tell your workforce at your studio, by the way, Ubisoft Montreal has made some really great games. They really have. They made top tier games for Ubisoft that have made them lots of money. Tell them, oh, well, because of the pandemic and everything, from now on, everyone can work remotely. And don't worry, we're working on it. We're going to make it permanent. So people buy homes outside and move. Oh, we changed our mind. Everyone come back now. What? Fuck you. You know, like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you're going to ruin their fucking lives? Yeah, we don't care. Well, you could quit, I guess. Oh, that sounds like a great way to treat your employees, doesn't it? Well, again, you know, what's going to happen? I don't know. You say, well, will there ever be held accountable? Will there be consequences? I don't think so. This just seems to be par for the course for the games industry. People get horribly mistreated, and somehow we all just got to take it on the chin. We're just expected to say, well, that's business in the games industry. Again, this is why do you think everyone is unionizing right now? Honestly, why do you think everyone is unionizing? Because they've had enough of this shit. They're being mistreated left, right, up, and down, and they want to have normal lives, and they can't because it seems like when you work in the games industry, you're supposed to be the punching bag of the people in charge who reap all the rewards of your hard work, right? The people on the board of Unity probably don't give 2 fucks if Unity closes because they're already filthy rich, so they feel no repercussions whatsoever for any of it. Anyway, just another day, another story about this kind of stuff at a game company. We do have one concrete piece of game information. Persona 3 Reload is officially coming out February 2nd, 2024. So way earlier than I expected. It's a little weird because have we actually seen that much gameplay or anything from it? Like, you know, I don't know. People have been asking me, am I going to play it? Honestly, I don't know. You know, I guess we'll see when more information comes out. If you guys would want to see me replay it, I would only replay it again if they've actually redone it to make it a more modernized game. I don't like the outdated mechanics of Persona 3 when it comes to some of the RNG and the fact that there's no checkpoints. You know, you're in a boss fight for 40 minutes. The boss RNG status affects your party. Oh, do the whole thing over from the start. Go through the whole dungeon. Go through the boss. Like, wait, what? You expect me to waste like 90 more minutes to get back just for a chance at the boss again, which might RNG me to death again? You know, that shit sucks. So, I don't know. Plus, a big concern here now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out later in February. And I'll be honest with you guys, that's the focus for me. Like, I'm actually getting very excited for that game. Because Remake was good, but now that we know that Rebirth is a reimagining of the plot, and you know the graphics and the gameplay elements will be sound, I'm excited for Rebirth. So now I'm a little worried about Persona 3 comes out just a couple weeks before. How would anyone play through that and finish it when it's a lengthy game. It's a grindy, time-consuming game. I remember from my first playthrough, right? So, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about playing it now. We'll have to see. What's happening now is all these games are getting release dates for January, February, which is crazy. We're going to have another packed, stacked January, February, I feel, this year. Okay? Okay. All right. Justice for LTG. All right. That is it for DSP News today. Here we go. All right. Well, that is it for the news segment, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I like doing that. You know, again, I said this. I realized this a couple months ago, all right? When I first moved out here 9 years ago, one of the reasons that I wanted to move out here to Washington, to have a bigger home, I wanted to have a better filming arrangement. I wanted to have it so that rather than me sitting on a couch, you know, looking shitty, basically, with low quality and everything, I wanted to be more professional. And eventually what I said I wanted to do was do a show where I had like a news desk and I would do a news every day, and it would be like a standalone news show, right? And that was my idea at first, and that's exactly why I actually bought the green screen and all of that originally. But then it kind of fell apart and didn't really work out. But then it was funny because a few months ago I was doing the podcast. Like, wait a minute, I'm doing it every day now. I have a podcast. I do new game news every day. Like, I'm doing all the things that I wanted to do when I moved out here now. It just took a long time to get them implemented, but they slowly implemented. But over time, I adopted every single thing that I wanted, and now here I am, kind of doing everything that I've always kind of aspired to do. Like, this is neat. It's funny how you get there. I guess it's not about how long it takes. It's just about eventually getting there, even if you don't intend to, right? Like, I wasn't intending on thinking, oh, let me think about those goals I had in 2014 and get to them. I just kind of got there naturally, you know? So it's fun to know that I'm actually sitting here doing a fun news show for you guys every day. Plus, we have discussion about my gameplay and schedules and stuff like that. I really enjoy it, you know? I do. So I hope that you guys enjoy it too. All right? All right. That's really what I got for today. So what I'd like to do now is I would like to plug my phone in, and I would like to do shout-outs. So let's do that. First shout-out of the day goes to King Be Cruel, who gifted a membership. And that membership went to, I don't know, because it scrolled, it didn't save it. Maybe if I refresh, hold on. What if I reload? It went to I Poke Throats. Okay. What are you, like a Shaolin throat poker? You know, they fight with their fingertips and they poke pressure points and stuff. Ugh. You get them right in the Adam's apple. Ugh. Well, thank you, I Poke Throats, for being a fan. Enjoy your gifted membership. Be sure to thank King Be Cruel. And King Be Cruel, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Okay? Guitar Player re-upped his membership for 27 months. Thank you so much, Guitar Player, for being a long-term supporter of DSP Gaming. It's good to see you here. We've got Tractor D, who has completely gone back on their word. Tractor D yesterday said that they would be taking a hiatus. Yet here they are today, and they have gifted memberships. 2 of them. One of them, I don't know who it went to because it actually didn't save it. The other one went to MM. So congratulations to MM. Again, guys, if you guys are getting gifted memberships, please be grateful and thank the people who gift them to you. Thank you so much, Tractor D and King Be Cruel, for your support this morning. And let's actually update that because that should be 3 new members now. Excellent. All right, cool. So that's the YouTube side of stuff. Now, oh, what's up, Juan? How you doing? Let's now do a shout out for the tip side of things, shall we? All right, here we go. So we start off with a $5 tip. And here's the thing. This person who did the $5 tip, all right, is asking an honest question. I don't believe that the question they're asking me is meant to be trollish in any way, shape, or form. So to the person who tipped me $5, thank you for the tip, and I'm not taking this in a negative way. However, based off of your question, allow me to respond. If I give any kind of public response to this kind of behavior, basically all it does is give attention to the behavior, which is exactly the point. Do you see what I mean? So I choose to not comment because by not commenting, it completely separates me from the drama of the behavior. Do you understand? So there you go. Maybe one day I will comment on it. I don't want to do that today because I feel like that would be exactly what the intention is. So I don't want to do that. And everyone watching on the stream right now when I'm doing it says, what the hell is Phil talking about? Exactly. Because if I tell you what they asked, it just gives negative attention to things. Let me put it this way. There's lots of stuff that happens all the time that I could easily comment on. And I have a right to comment on. But sadly, you know what they say. When you give attention to someone seeking it, right, that just propagates more and more of that behavior. Well, I don't want that behavior. So therefore, I'm not going to bring it up. Make sense? I hope you understand. Let's continue. Someone tipped $1.50. Here's what they say. You don't have to play Invasion. You get profile XP whenever you play the game online. Okay. So what you're saying is I could do online play and it would unlock XP and eventually I'd also unlock the cameos? I mean, fair enough, but I also want to see what the Invasion mode is. Remember, this is the replacement for Crypt. Crypt also always was the big long-term single-player mode after story, and this is the replacement. So obviously I want to see what that is, right? So it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll see what Invasion is, and as we're playing Invasion, we're also unlocking the cameos needed to actually fully play the game online. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, and thank you for clarifying, because I didn't know that. I was under the impression that you had to do it first, and I guess you're saying you don't have to. So thanks for that, but I think I would still prefer to play Invasion and try it and see what it is, and then eventually when everything's unlocked, then try out online play. So thank you with that. Then I got a $1.50 tip from, let's see here, from Lady Charisma. This Unity thing hits home for me. I do a lot of hobby VR development. Unity is the go-to engine for VR games. If this feature goes into effect, it would kill almost that whole section of gaming. Most games are made by indie devs. Exactly. That's what they're saying is, if you're an indie dev, why would you use Unity? Every time the game gets installed, you owe money. like, who can afford that? Indie devs are not going to be making tons of money. That's the whole point. They're indie devs. They make indie games that get a little bit of attention. That's how you, what do they call it? You sharpen your teeth on that. You get better at game development by making games, right? Not every game design is intended to be a seller that's going to make big money or any money. Some people make it as a hobby, as a hobbyist, to get better, and eventually later on, they can make money. How do you practice in Unity if you owe money for using it? I think that's the problem everyone is now encountering, right? And again, it's corporate greed is all it is. A boardroom full of investors, and all they care about is appeasing themselves and the shareholders. They don't give a fuck about what the company pumps out, what kind of quality product they make. All they care about is the almighty dollar. How on earth companies exist like that today, I don't know. But they do. There you go. Let's Play with Dozeman had done a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Adam just did a $5 super chat and says, I cannot wait to see the end of Mortal Kombat. It's been fun watching. I agree. The story is always entertaining in the Mortal Kombat franchise. That's why I'm looking forward to see how it ends today. And Mr. Game Master just did a super chat. He says, have you decided on Lords of the Fallen yet? I have not. Just to give you some perspective here, because I'll go grab the game schedule. Let me go grab the game schedule here and take a quick look at October as it is right now. So keep in mind, when October starts, we'll still be playing Lies of P. We'll still be playing Starfield. Likely still be juggling fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6. Okay? Assassin's Creed Mirage is October 5th. Detective Pikachu Returns is October 6th. I'm not saying I'm playing that one. I'm just saying it's coming out. Forza Motorsport, which is Game Pass game, is October 10th. Lords of the Fallen is October 13th. But so is The Grinch Christmas Adventures. Okay, we're not playing that one then. If we do that, we'll probably play that in December. Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, as well as Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Wait a minute. No. I screwed up. See, I screwed all because all the dates changed. So hold on, let me try this again. Assassin's Creed Mirage, October 5th. Detective Pikachu, October 6th. Forza Motorsport, October 10th. Lords of the Fallen, October 13th. Sonic Superstars, October 17th. Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers Wonder, October 20th. And Alan Wake 2, October 27th. Do you see? So, that's a crazy month. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what we're playing yet. I would say, what are the must-plays that month? For me, the absolute must-plays are Assassin's Creed Mirage, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Yeah. And I was okay, so what are the maybes? Detective Pikachu, Forza Motorsport, Lords of the Fallen, City Skylines 2, and Sonic Superstar. Those would be the maybes. Okay? So depending on how far in we are to the games that we're playing this month, by the time that those games hit, that's going to really be a determining factor, right? So it's going to be wild. I really don't know how this is going to go. It's going to be one of the craziest, busiest seasons we've seen. And likely what will end up happening is I'm not going to be able to play all that. And a lot of that is going to spill into November. Right now, November schedule is WarioWare Move It on November 3rd, which I'm probably not playing it. Like a Dragon Gaiden on November 9th, I'm definitely playing that. Super Mario RPG Remake on November 17th, I'm definitely playing that. And Modern Warfare 3 on November 10th. Oh, see, these are in the wrong order again. So there's a few games, but not that many. So maybe some of the games I don't get to play in October can spill into November and December, right? Because in December, it's basically Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and I'll probably be playing that Grinch game. And that's probably it. So we'll have opportunity to play catch-up on the other games, right? So that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. I don't know what to play and what not to play come October. I guess it's going to be a lot of asking you guys, seeing how we are in the other games. Lords of the Fallen is a maybe. If it maybe, it's a wait and see, and if people say it's actually good, then play it in November, December. Keep in mind, again, as Lies of P, I'm playing Lies of P, and if I'm playing it and I decide to keep playing it Will I even finish it by then? You know, I don't know. We won't know. We don't know how long it is. And you can't even trust when someone tells you how long the game is. You can't trust because of the lies of P. He's constantly lying. So P could be saying the game's like 15, 20 hours long, and he lied. You know, you can't. Okay, that was stupid. All right. Well, that's what I got so far today, everyone. Thank you guys for chilling. We now have some extra time if you guys would like to ask me some questions. Please tag me in the chat. If any contributions come in, I will shout them out, update the leaderboards. What do you guys want to talk about this morning? Good morning, Jade. How are you? Good to see you. Joe Aloft says, tell me you didn't forget the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1. Yeah, I didn't forget it. I'm just not playing it. It's exactly the same as the games you can play right now. Like, I could play Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD right now on my PS5. It's just the same games. The only difference is now you can digitally play the PS1 version of Metal Gear Solid 1 also on PS5. And I will probably eventually do that, but there's no rush. It's the same game I've already played. You know, it's not like Metal Gear Solid 3, the real remake, that they're remaking supposedly next year, I think, that will actually have new graphics, new gameplay elements, all that. That's different. That I'll be playing. This is really not a new release. It's just a collection. So, okay. Am I going to play the Modern Warfare 3 beta that starts October 6th? I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know. If you guys want me to and I can squeeze in a stream of it just to see what it is, maybe we'll do that, because maybe that'll be a good way for me to determine if I'm actually getting it or not, right? Okay, we'll see. Please remind me of that as we get to early October, because I didn't even know that was happening. Sonic is a maybe. I really am interested in it, but I don't want to get ingrained in too many games at once, and I feel like Sonic's not going anywhere. It'll be good if I play it at release or not. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. By the way, I received a generous $15 tip from Dan the Man, who says, hey, Phil. What's going on, Dan the Man? It's good to see you here today. Thank you for a generous $15 tip. I love the generous tips. I really hate those skimpy tips, but I love the generous ones. Thank you so very much, Dan the Man. No, I'm grateful for every contribution I get of any size and scope. Thank you guys very much. It's like I've always said, all right? It's all about people working together. It's not about one person comes and drops a bomb. It's about everyone working together. You know, people come in and tip a buck. That helps. Thank you so very much for all the contributions that I get. I'm just being a silly joker today. But, of course, they will clip that and say that I was very serious about it, you know? Okay, very nice. Double M says, what company would you love to be a part of the board of investors? Whatever company it was that made that JoJo Siwa game, I want to be involved in that project because I feel like I have some valuable input on what should be put into those kind of games. Our children today, they're being led astray, and I really need to right that ship. You know what I'm saying? Very good. Jade says, you love Melina and Sindel. Well, I haven't used them yet. From what I'm to see is that Melina may be broken in the game, from what people have found. Sindel, we're actually just about to use. We're just about to use her for the first time, and I'll have to see if I like her or not in this one. She's different in every single freaking game, so I guess we'll find out. Carlton Jr. says, for comparison's sake, playing both Mario and Sonic should be good. You can make an event out of playing them. I guess you're right, but the thing is, while those are out, there's also Spider-Man, and there's also other games. That's kind of the problem. If there were the only two games out, and I could play them for like 2-3 games, 2-3 days, head to head, comparing them directly, that'd be amazing. But then I have to skip other major releases to do that. They all come out at the same time. It's equally exciting and frustrating to be a content creator around this time of year. It really is. It's exciting because I'm a gamer just like you guys. And I absolutely enjoy every single game we're playing. It's a great time of the year, right? But then you want to put out enough content to cover all the new releases and entertain the audience, and you can't do that when you can't clone yourself. All I need to do is to perform cellular mitosis and cut myself down the middle, split myself into two fills, and one will stream the platform games and one will stream everything else. So let's do it. Cellular mitosis. Sounds good to me. Or is it cellular division? Now I'm confused. What's the difference? Anyway, I don't know. I'm an idiot. I received a $10 super chat from Mr. Game Master. He says, the thing is about Lords of the Fallen, it uses the Unreal Engine 5 and Immortals of Avium runs at 720p dogshit resolution and lower on the Series S. It uses the same engine, so hopefully they didn't F it up. Oh, man. I guess we'll see. I mean, luckily I do have the Series X, right? So, hopefully that would not be a concern. But, I mean, yeah, that's true. If it is running like shit, that's not good if that engine is not running very well. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Lady Charisma asked, do you think the Souls-like in this generation is GTA clone? I mean, yeah. To some extent, you're right. Remember, you had Grand Theft Auto's games in the 2000s, and then everyone had to follow suit and copy them and try to make a game just like them. So now it's like everyone has to be a Soulsborne copy, right? Everyone has to jump on a bandwagon of what's already popular rather than trying to create something that's artistically different and become good on its own merits, right? Because let's be honest, Liza P is definitely a knockoff of Bloodborne. It's got originality when it comes to its plot and its world design, but it definitely is supposed to be Bloodborne. We know that just by looking at it, right? So where's the true originality is just in the story and the world, but you know what kind of gameplay it's going to have, So yeah, something must be said for the lack of originality in gaming these days, I must say. There you go. Juan, well, I hope you have a good birthday on November 3rd. Hopefully I'll plan something fun. Game Genie says, if lobbies are secure, any community games possibility? If you're talking about MK1, you're way ahead of me. I have to play the game first to even see if I enjoy it, if I'm going to sink any significant time into it or not. We're going to finish the story, do Invasion, do some online play, then we make those kind of judgments. That's not something to be even talking. Like, look, it took me about a month and a half, 2 months to even think about it in Street Fighter 6. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, okay? Airhead says, I love the Lily gameplay. She's my favorite. I'm glad to hear that. Lily is one of the worst characters in Street Fighter 6, and I'm really working hard to get her to master. I think we'll do it. I really do. I just think it's going to take more time than the other characters, but I think we will get there. Last stream, the impromptu stream I did Thursday actually went really well, so. All right. MKASP just did a super chat, said, kick some Outworld butt. Thank you very much, MKASP. Uh, 316. ASP 316. Thank you. Canadian Kirk, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm not going to respond. Hello to Steve. How's it going, Steve? Carlton Jr. said, you come a long way. Back in the old DSP days, you didn't care about gaming news at all. You found out about stuff at GameStop or something when trading stuff in. Yeah, listen, I told you, as I grew and evolved, I wanted to do more serious stuff. The whole shtick of me doing over-the-top stupid humor and stuff, it lasted a while and I got tired. And when I moved out here, I really did want to change my attitude about everything. And, some things worked out well. Some things definitely did not. Okay? It is what it is. But if you take a look at the last 9 years, look at my content. Look at the quality of the visuals. Look at the quality. Every day doing a talk show with news and everything integrated. It's very different today than it used to be. Right? And I know I lost a lot of my viewer base because people wanted old, immature, stupid DSP. But I don't want to be that guy. I've wanted to mature and change for the better. I feel like I have, and I feel like that's why I'm still successful. All right? If I had stayed that old guy, I would have been outdated and forgotten by now. I would have been a fart in the wind, as they say. But instead, I still have a dedicated fan base who loves what I do, and I appreciate that. All right? I might do separate ways in October or for the Halloween special. We'll see what happens. Garrett says, I enjoyed the story of MK1. I just finished it. Good. We're about to finish it together as well. Do I miss going to the store and buying physical copies of games? Says Twirly. All right. It was definitely a different time. It was completely different. You couldn't download games digitally then, right? When I started on YouTube, you just couldn't. The only things digital were DLCs, and those usually were made available like in the middle of the night randomly at random times. You had to still go to a physical game store to buy a game at release. And I made it a practice where I get up early in the morning of a release day. I would go to, say, a place to get breakfast or go to McDonald's or whatever and get their breakfast sandwich with an orange juice or something like that. I would sit there and wait for the store to open. Then I would go to the store, get the game physically, right? Then I would come home, do the unboxing video. Again, another relic lost to time because now there's literally no reason to ever unbox a game because there's nothing in it, right? Back then, you had all kinds of stuff. You had a fun instructional booklet, promotional materials, and all kinds of stuff that would come with the game to show off in the unboxing. Now, the box is empty. So I would do all that content. And then I would upload that video. And people would get hyped for the playthrough. Oh, Phil's playthrough of this hot new game's coming later today. Sweet, let's get hyped by watching the unboxing and everything, right? People loved it. It was a tried and true formula that worked, all right? And then everything changed. Games went fully digital. People started getting games early because they were the specially selected promotional streamers and content creators who got paid to shill. And people got greedy and fucking just changed the whole industry, you know? Do I miss those days? To some extent, I do. Because back then, I actually felt like I was part of the prominent gaming group bringing content to the internet. Today, I'm a tiny little guy. I'm a niche guy in a little corner of the internet doing things for himself, telling everyone, leave me the fuck alone and let me just do content for my audience, and people won't leave me alone. They keep harassing me. But I do my best, you know, to do my style of stuff. It was a different time. At the same time, was it a hassle to have to get up and drive to the physical game store and buy the game and do all that? Of course it was. It was a hassle. You know, now everything's digital. You get it launch day, you're good to go, right? But there is something to be said, missing that feeling of launch day hype with the unboxings. Or if there was a special midnight release, and I'm one of the first people in the world to start posting up a playthrough of a game. Never am I one of the first people in the world to do anything anymore. It's not possible. I would never be able to because everyone else gets it early now because they're all paid fucking shills, sellouts, you know? Well, 'tis life, right? But I'm fine with who I am and what I do, and I really enjoy it, so I'm all good. What's the shirt? Deadpool. Deadpool shirt today. Let's see. Lady Charisma says, Liza P seems like a case of if they won't make a new Bloodborne, we'll do it. Kind of like Bomb Rush, Cyberfunk, and Jet Set Radio. Fans went and made their own Jet Set Radio style game. I see. Have I been to a boat house? No. I've been on a boat that was a nice boat, but it wasn't considered a boat house that you would live on. I just answered that question. When it comes to the Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4, I don't know if I'll play it by the end of this month. I don't know if I'll do it. It probably makes more sense in October since it's horror themed. But again, October is insanely loaded with games, so it really depends on what people want and when they want it. So we'll see. I'm not putting it in the schedule because I know I'm essentially booked to the end of the month right now. It doesn't mean that we can't squeeze it in or whatever. We'll find out. Opinion on old school Modern Warfare 2 maps being a Modern Warfare 3 remake? I have zero opinion. I really don't. Again, you know my take on Modern Warfare 3. It totally seems like a ripoff. It's the same exact code for Modern Warfare 2. They just tweaked it a bit to pretend like it's a brand new game when it's not. It's totally not. So you're going to be paying $70+ plus tax for a new game, and you're not playing a new game. You're playing Modern Warfare 2 DLC, you know? So that's my take. So if they're rehashing maps, are you shocked that they're reusing content? No, I'm not shocked at all. Seems to be par for the course with these guys. FD Fork says, do you think all pro reviewers are shills? No, because you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everyone that gets an early release copy of a game is a shill. I'm saying the content creators, the streamers, the YouTubers who are given copies early, who are allowed to actually stream the game early, who have contracts and non-disclosure agreements that outright state you cannot give your opinion on the game. because there's a review embargo until this date, yet they still stream it, meaning all they can do is say positive things, and they take that fucking payment gladly. They take that bag, as they say. Every single content creator you see streaming a game early has that agreement. They all have these NDAs where they're not allowed to be honest. They have to play a game and basically say it's good. That's what they do. That's today. Why else do you think they're getting the game early? Do you think that the game development company would give them a game early to say the game sucks? Right? I mean, I still remember back when State of Decay 2 was coming out, and I told everyone, listen, a lot of people are getting it early. They're getting paid to do so. I'll be playing it on Friday. And what happened? Big-time content creators came out on Twitter and slammed me, saying I'm just a disgruntled old man who's angry that he doesn't get games early. I'm like, no. I'm trying to expose the industry for what it is. You guys just don't want to hear it because it basically spoils the fake facade you put up for your viewers, acting like you're real gamers when you're not. And what ended up happening, they all streamed State of Decay 2 early, said nothing negative about the game whatsoever, and then when the game came out later in the week, it was critically panned. The game sucked, right? So I was 100% proven correct, but God forbid that I say something like that because it's Dark Side Phil, so everyone slams him, right? But that's how the industry is now. That's exactly how the entire industry is, right? So you got to deal with it. But no, I'm not saying that, absolutely, I'm not saying that everyone who gets an early release copy is that. I'm saying those who are the selected content creators who get to stream the game early and basically make thousands of extra dollars because they're the early adopters of the game, those are the shills. Those are the people you should literally not watch their content ever again. They're only making content to make a buck. So why watch them? They don't care about a real opinion or sharing real information with their audience. All they care about is if they get paid, or else they wouldn't be doing that. Did I ever sign an NDA for a game review before? When I was in that Hawken deal, that Hawken game, I had to sign an NDA. That was 2012. I had to sign an NDA until I was allowed to post up the footage. I wasn't allowed to post up the Hawken footage right away. I was told the specific dates that I could. So I signed an NDA for the Hawken promotion in 2012. Outside of that, the only other time that I was under any kind of a restriction was when I got Fallout 4 and I was told I couldn't play it until 1 day ahead of release. Like, I could play it, but I could not release any footage or streams of it until 1 day ahead of release. I was given a 1 day head start on everyone else. So, that was it. Because I don't seek these games. I was actually offered a copy of a couple free games. I just got an offer the other day for, what was it? The one that's like Forza Horizon, but it's not. Is it The Crew? The Crew Festival, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, I just got offered that. They said, we'll give you a whole free copy of the game and everything, but you got to disclose that we gave you the copy and blah, blah, blah. Crew Motorfest, that's what it's called. Yeah, they offered me that. And I was like, just ignore it. I'm not, because that's the thing. If you're going to do that shit, then you got to have all these fucking criteria and things you got to abide by. I don't want to do that. So I didn't even tell them, no, I just don't respond. A lot of these people, they reach out to me. They want me to cover the game, to give their game exposure. I just ignore it. I'm not saying it's not a good game. I wouldn't be interested in it regardless. Look how busy we are with everything else. Crew Motorfest isn't even a blip on my radar. You know what I'm saying? Lionel Sanchez said, did you see the recent Evil Dead? Maybe you could do a review for Halloween. I don't think you want me to review it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the movie. I was watching it. I was like, I think what I want to do, I think I'm going to watch 1 or 2 of the new Scream movies, Scream 5 and 6, and I'm probably going to watch the 3 Halloween movies that came out in the last few years, that Halloween trilogy to end the movie franchise. I think those might be the movies I watch. So maybe I'll watch like one of them by the end of September and then one a week for October. I think that's what I might do. Twirly, we literally just talked about the Modern Warfare 3 beta, and I said it's a maybe, remind me in early October. No, I'm not playing Cyberpunk ever again. I don't give two fucks about their expansion. I hate the game. I'm not playing it again. I don't hate it. It's just not a very well-designed game in my opinion. Do I want more 2D Mario games or 3D? Both. They both are good. I like Super Mario Galaxy. I wish they would make a Galaxy 3. I like Super Mario Odyssey. I wish they would make an Odyssey 2. But at the same time, I like the 2D, so I'm excited for Super Mario Wonder. Excuse me. Ooh. All right. I think, guys, this is a good place to stop. We got a few random questions coming in, but like, you know what? This is probably a good place to stop. And end the show for today. So I can take my little break and use the restroom and get ready and finish the story of Mortal Kombat 1. All right, guys. Thank you for a great podcast. It was an entertaining one. I had a good time with you. Tomorrow, I'll be able to talk about the end of the story as well as the epic conclusion of Chrono Trigger tonight, which I'm actually really excited for. And I always have a great time on the show. Thank you all for a great interactive show. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow for another epic podcast. Have a good day. Hope you enjoy my gameplay, and I will see you then.